The Last Dive. Doctor. Sarah Chen pressed her face against the thick glass of the research station's observation window, watching the last traces of sunlight fade from the choppy waters of the Salish Sea. The underwater floodlights automatically flickered on, casting eerie blue-white beams through the murky depths. Another negative on the tracking signal, radioed Marcus from the surface vessel. No sign of the pod. Sarah frowned. The resident orcas had been exhibiting increasingly unusual behavior over the past month. First, they'd abandoned their traditional hunting grounds. Then, they'd started following fishing vessels far beyond their normal range. But most disturbing of all was the way they'd begun working together to create massive waves, deliberately capsizing smaller boats. "Copy that," she responded. "I'm going to do one final dive to check the underwater acoustic array. 20 minutes, tops." "Sarah, wait for morning," Marcus urged. "The storm's getting worse." She was already zipping up her dry suit. "Can't! If we lose the array data, we lose our only chance of understanding what's happening to them." The water was colder than she expected, even through the insulated suit. Her powerful dive light cut through the gloom as she descended along the guide cable toward the seafloor array. At 30 feet, she checked her gauges. Everything normal. Then she heard it, the distinctive clicks and whistles of orca echolocation. But something was wrong. The calls were different, carrying a deeper, almost mechanical quality she'd never heard before. Movement caught her eye. A massive dorsal fin, at least 6 feet tall, glided through the edge of her light beam. Then another, and another. The entire pod had surrounded her. Sarah had studied these animals for over a decade. She knew every fin, every marking, but as the largest male circled closer, she didn't recognize him. His eyes, usually warm and intelligent, reflected her light with an alien silver sheen. The male opened his jaws, revealing rows of gleaming teeth, and Sarah realized with horrifying clarity that she wasn't looking at the resident pod anymore. This was something else, something that had been waiting in the deep, wearing familiar shapes like a disguise, until it was ready to rise. Her scream bubbled uselessly through her regulator as the circle of false orcas began to close. On the surface, the research station's instruments recorded a series of unprecedented vocalizations, followed by silence. By morning, the storm had cleared, but Dr. Chen was never found. The only evidence of her final dive was a torn piece of dry suit material and her dive computer. Its screen cracked, but still cycling through its final readings. Depth, 30 feet. Time, 1942. Water temperature, 2 degrees Celsius. That's approximately 30 degrees colder than the Salish Sea had ever been.